Hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your weather explainer for the U.S. Virgin Islands. We're going to break down everything you need to know for the week ahead, from the big picture out in the tropics right down to what to expect on your local beach. Let's get right into it.
This is a DGHradio.com news and information United States Virgin Islands weather review. And it looks like we've got a really interesting week shaping up. There's one big weather feature that's going to dominate, and you will for sure notice it. We'll start with the wide view and then zoom right into your forecast.
All right, first up, the big picture. You know, we always have to start by looking out into the Atlantic. I mean, that's where all the action usually comes from, right?
And the news on that front is fantastic. The National Hurricane Center is giving us the all clear. The takeaway is as simple as it gets. No tropical trouble is expected for at least the next 7 days. So yeah, we can all breathe a collective sigh of relief there.
Okay, so let's bring it in from that wide view and talk about what's happening right here at home. Here's what you can expect for the rest of today and into tonight across the islands. So for today, it's kind of like a tale of two different island experiences. If you're over in St. Thomas or St. John, you'll want to keep an eye on the sky for some scattered showers. There's about a 50% chance of catching some rain. But if you're on St. Croix, you're looking at a much drier day, with only about a 20% chance of a quick, isolated shower.
Now check this out. As we head into the evening, the whole forecast basically flips on its head. St. Thomas and St. John, you guys dry out with only a 20% shot of a brief shower. But over on St. Croix, your rain chance actually jumps up to 50% with scattered showers moving in. The one thing we'll all share, it's going to be breezy all night long.
All right, let's pull the lens back a bit and look at the next couple of days. We're starting to see a really clear pattern take shape. And trust me, it's one you're going to feel.
You know what's really cool is the story this little table tells. Just look at those temperatures. They're holding rock steady, really pleasant. But the real headline, the main event, is that bottom row. We're starting out breezy, and that breeze is just going to keep building as we head into Tuesday. This is really the defining feature of our weather for the whole week.
So why all this wind? Well, this slide breaks it down perfectly. Think of it like this. You've got this big pile of air, that's high pressure, up in the Atlantic, and this dip in the air, low pressure, to our south. Nature always wants to find balance, so the air rushes from the high to the low, and we're sitting right in the middle of that windy highway. The tighter that squeeze, the faster the wind blows.
Of course, here in the USVI, the weather on land is really only half the story, isn't it? All that wind we've been talking about, well, it's got some major impacts on what's happening out on the water and at the beach.
So, if you're thinking about hitting the beach or taking the boat out anytime this week, this next part is especially for you. The conditions are going to change, and pretty dramatically, so let's walk through what you can expect.
Just look at how this risk really ramps up. Today, things are pretty calm out there, low risk. But as those winds start cranking, the risk climbs to moderate for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, by the end of the week, we're talking about a high risk for dangerous rip currents. This is a pretty serious progression, so please keep it in mind, especially if you're hitting those north-facing beaches.
And for all you boaters out there, here's the need to know. The winds really start to pick up tonight. By the middle of the week, the seas are going to get what we call confused, which basically means waves are coming at you from a bunch of different directions. It makes for a really choppy and unpredictable ride. The bottom line here is simple. If you've got a smaller boat, you'll really want to be careful for most of the week.
Okay, let's put all these pieces together and take a look at the trend for the entire week, which includes the Thanksgiving holiday and the weekend coming up.
This timeline really lays out the story of our week. Breezy conditions are the star of the show. By Wednesday, we could be looking at gusts hitting 30 miles per hour. That pattern holds right through Thanksgiving and Friday. Then, as we get into the weekend, it's not just breezy anymore. It's going to become downright windy, with Sunday looking to be one of the gustiest days of the whole week.
Now you might be asking, what about rain? Well, while the wind is the main story, we're not going to be completely dry. You can see here the chance for showers stays pretty low, around 20% through the middle of the week. But see how it jumps up for the weekend? All that moisture riding in on those trade winds boosts our rain chances to about 40% for both Saturday and Sunday.
So if you were to sum up the entire week, it's like this. We get to enjoy these really pleasant, cooler than normal temperatures, which is just fantastic. The trade-off is that it is going to be breezy, sometimes quite windy, with a few of those passing trade wind showers popping up more often by the weekend. It's a classic, beautiful, but blustery pattern for us here in the islands.
And that pretty much wraps it up. The one word to remember this week is wind. It's going to affect everything from your beach day to your boat trip. So the question I'll leave you with is this. How are these breezy conditions going to shape your plans this week? Whatever you do, stay safe and enjoy those beautiful trade winds.